Hey everyone, welcome to Throwing Rod's Garage. In this video, I'm going to be working on something I've been wanting to work on for quite some time. So I drug it out of the back of the shop and I got a whole bunch of parts sitting right here and we're going to get it all going today. Of course, you never know what I'm going to be working on in the shop. This is a 2007 Suzuki GS500f. I bought this thing brand new off the showroom floor back in, I believe it was in the middle of 07. And they had a sale on it. Maybe it was 08. I can't remember. I've slept a little bit since then. But I've put quite a few miles on this thing. I did do the aftermarket Jardine exhaust. I had to think about it for a second. It does have a K&N air filter and a nice jet kit. Now this is just a 500cc. Twin carbureted. Of course, this bike is basically the same bike as the GS500e. Now the F at the end of GS500F stands for the fairing, of course. The original bikes were, now correct me if I'm wrong, they were mid to late 80s. They didn't have a front fairing at all. They just had a headlight underneath the speedometer. Everything's basically the same. Now I have put quite a bit of miles on it. Lots of winter riding. It was my transportation there for the longest time because it was cheap on fuel. Fuel is expensive around that time, but I'll go over a few more things that I've done to it. Of course, it's been sitting in the shop for quite a while. It does have 19,427 miles. Of course, little miscellaneous stickers here and there. I did paint the windscreen. Well, I tried to. It looks kind of rough. It's just really dusty. But the original one cracked out and faded really bad because I did ride it a lot and it stayed outside. It's honestly only been rained on maybe 3 or 4 times, and I've washed it, hand washed it all the time. It's never seen a garden hose. I try to keep it from getting wet. That's why, I mean, the chain only has slight surface rust. Everything else, I mean, other than being extremely filthy, dusty wise, is not rusty. It does have LEDs in the front and the rear. Of course, it had the turn signals. Now that was my bad. This side, yes, this side's got a crack in the fairing. Now, when I first got it, I was pulling into the garage. Actually, it was a year or two after I got it. And as I was pulling in, I live down a county road, of course, and the concrete floor inside my garage is super slick like it is here in the shop. And it came in a little hot, nothing fast or anything, but hit the front brake and there must have been a pebble or something, but it dropped so quick. And they say it's not a matter of if you drop your bike, it's a matter of when. Well, I'm glad I got it out of the way, knock on wood. But it broke that turn signal off. I didn't like them anyways. They stuck out like 6-7 inches. It was really weird on the front and the back. So in the state of Missouri, you do not have to have turn signals. If they are removed, you just have to use your hand signals. So I am going to put more of a flush mount on here. Eventually, maybe. I don't know. There's a story of why I'm wanting to get this thing running. Now, I don't know if you guys seen in my other video, it's been posted a while back, but I have a nice Yamaha cruiser bike that I'm getting ready to put on the road. And it's running, riding great. I just need to get all the paperwork done now. But I promised my boy that he could have my bike when he got old enough. So this one, I'm going to fix it up, make sure it's good. The back tire is brand new. The front tire needs replaced. So we'll get there when we get to that point. Now, what we're going to be doing to the motorcycle today, of course, we're going to change the oil. There's the oil filter, new drain plug with new drain plug gasket. And of course, we're going to clean up the air filter, recharge it. This guy is a vacuum petcock. Yes. And there's a small little diaphragm in there on the back side of this little plate here that after time will dry up and cause the fuel to run through and down into the carburetors. Now, I rebuilt these carbs 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And I kept having an issue where it would just constantly run out. So I bought another rebuild kit, rebuilt it just earlier in 2024 because I wanted to go riding again. And same issue. And I was like, man, there's something going on with this. So I contacted one of my buddies that works on these, and he said, man, have you replaced that petcock? Because that is what the main issue is on those GS500s. So I said, no, I'll get one on ordered. And so just not too long ago, my boy and I, we tried working on it, and we replaced the spark plugs. We cleaned out the carburetors, which there was no fuel in. I left the fuel tank empty, left the carburetors empty. But whatever fuel was left in the fuel tank and the carburetor went down into the cylinder whenever we tried attempting to start it again. And it filled up the crankcase with fuel. So that's why we're going to do an oil change. I do have that new petcock, of course, so we're going to replace that first. And I'm going to make sure that it's not pouring out. And, of course, do the normal stuff on there, check everything out, make sure it's good to go. First off, we'll remove the seat, get it out of the way so it doesn't get ruined. Then I'm gonna grab a few tools, get the tank up. The fuel shut off, it's got a fuel shut off on the tank itself for whenever you're trying to remove the tank, and then we'll work on that petcock. All right, let's go ahead. Looking at it, I don't really think I have to take the tank off. I should be able just to break this loose and pull it down out of the way. Looks like the fuel hoses are long enough. I'm trying to do this as a surprise quietly for him so he can be excited about it and for us to be able to go riding sometime real soon. Okay. Grab the new one, make sure it's gonna fit. Now I am hoping that these fuel lines will come loose because those blue lines are kind of a pain. Now it looks like everything is correct. This line might actually be larger, but it is a vacuum line. So I might be able to finagle it on there. And it had a little bit of a kink too, so I don't want it to give too much of an issue, but it does sit at an angle, so I might have to, if I can get my hands up there, yeah, right, reroute this hose. We'll get there when the time comes. Haha. See, it is a vacuum, but it has fuel in it. Yeah, see, that's not supposed to have fuel coming out right now. I'm gonna go ahead and lift the tank up because this line kinks whenever it goes up into the position that it needs to sit. Right there is that petcock that I was talking about. Right there. That is the under the tank petcock. And that vacuum line I need to move is this guy right here. So, set you back up. Now, the reason why that vacuum line's in the wrong position because I had this air box out in a way. And whenever I moved everything back, I didn't make sure that I put it back in the correct position. Let's move you guys to the other side. Use this little tool just to push this vacuum line back out of the way. There we go. Goes down there. Ta-da! Fuel is on. Hose is on. Everything else looks grand. That should be the vent. Okay, that's set. How does it fit now? Oh, that's way better. That's where it's supposed to be. After I get this petcock tightened down and put in place, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to change the oil. Now for the oil change, of course, you have your oil fill, and it's a dipstick as well. And of course, it's dirty, but the oil has always been changed all the time. I try to make sure it was constantly changed, whether it needed it or not. But let's see if I can get up here. And there is the oil filter. It sits behind that little cover. It's got 3 little nuts that hold it on, 10 millimeters. And then underneath, like I said, it's been sitting here a while, is the drain plug. All right, let's be underneath the motorcycle now. Get yourself a drain pan. It is a 17 millimeter that breaks the drain plug loose. I'm gonna sit underneath here just good enough so I can get it without making a mess. I ain't worried about the drain plug. I got a new one for it anyhow. Looks fairly clean, but it is definitely gas fouled It's definitely full of fuel because this is only supposed to hold 3.3 quarts. And this is how big? This is a 7-quart pan. And it's getting there pretty quick. It's filling up pretty fast. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, it's getting filled up pretty quick. It definitely had a lot of fuel in it. I'm glad we didn't decide to start it. Not only that, it definitely never hurts to change the oil, especially after it's been sitting for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil filter broke loose, or at least the cap. I hope I don't lose the spring. I think the spring stays on the filter. Nope, it stays on the cap. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, because I'm on the other side of the bike, but there's supposed to be a nice little O-ring, and it looks like it is still attached to, or at least stuck to the block. Yep, sure is. Of course, the filter comes with a new one. Always replace it. My fat fingers can't get it. Ta-da! Pull out the old filter. It's not too bad a shape. Shouldn't be. I think the last time I changed the oil in this thing, I only rode it maybe 400 miles at that. Now I'm just going to clean up this cap. It has a little bit of nastiness from the other filter and all of the deposits and everything that's been sitting for a while. So don't forget your spring. You can't forget this. Just make sure you get all the grooves good and cleaned out. So the new O-ring sits in there perfect. And then I usually just spray off the front too, just to make it look better. A lot better, good and clean. The spring, I always wipe it down, just make sure there's no buildup of any sort on there, and just slap it back on here. Whoop. Just clips back in place, and there you have it. Now with the new filter comes with a new gasket. This kit came with 2 different gaskets. Of course, it takes this one, which kind of looks funky, but it works. Just sits in place. Now, one thing I might have to do, put just a I mean, a smidge of silicone in this groove just to help hold this in place, because I tell you what, trying to set this in there and making sure that this O-ring sits perfect, it's kind of a pain. See, keeps trying to walk around. Sit, Ubu, sit. Oh, I got it. But will it stay? Who knows? I'm hoping that maybe if I sit here with it in this position, then it might hold on and stay. Let's go ahead and put this and this new filter back in place. Well, I tried to give you guys a little bit of light. I don't have my larger magnetic light. I had to use my little pin light, but hey, it works. So set this guy in here. Sits on a little bitty tab in there. Surface area of that is good and clean. If you guys have trouble hearing me, it's raining. First we had a whole bunch of snow, now we have a rain coming in. You definitely don't want to over torque these. Snug. Snug. Okay. And snug. Perfect. Now I'm going to rinse off. I say rinse off. I'm going to spray off all of this nasty old oil off of everything with some brake clean. If I can find some. A little excessive? Maybe. I don't want any oil spots anywhere. Now this new drain plug that I got for it does have a smaller hex head. I believe it's a 15 millimeter, but it did come with a magnet where the other one did not, so help keep any of those extra metal shavings out. Hopefully there's no more metal shavings. I'll get this put in, get the oil topped off, get some fuel put in it, and who knows, maybe it'll fire it up and just run just fine with that new petcock, so we'll see. This poor motorcycle, it needs a lot of love and a lot of cleaning. But right now, I'm gonna get the oil changed. And I misread. It doesn't take 3.3 quarts. It takes exactly 3 quarts. So this kit that I got came with this fancy paper funnel, which seems like it's going to work just fine. Oh, you guys can't see. Maybe up a little further. Ta-da! This is full synthetic 10W40. It is meant for wet clutches, which that's what this has. Now for the fun part. We'll add some fuel and see what she has to say. Now I have about 2 gallons, 2¼ gallons of fuel. It is 91 octane, which is what this recommends, or higher. But I'm not going to put a whole bunch in here, just in case we run into the same issue. But from what I have figured out, I am pretty sure that is the main issue, was that petcock. I mean, this thing's pushing 18 years old, and, well, I haven't done anything serious to it other than rebuild the carbs, replace the battery, tires, I've done a chain. I haven't even done brakes. I said I'm not going to put all the fuel in it, but it drained all in there. Oh well, That's what I get for talking. Should be okay. The battery is charged. My boy and I, we've left it on a battery tender while it has been sitting. Gonna move this old oil out of the way. All of it. It's very full. All right, so moment of truth. Choke is on. I have this set on prime, which helps prime everything to the carburetors. So we have power, we're neutral. Let's give it a go. Gotta let it warm up. It is carbureted. But in all honesty, I have ran it a few months ago for about maybe 30 seconds. So in a few more seconds, it'll run longer than it ever has. I'm gonna turn this to the on or reserve for right now because the tank was so low. When it warms up, the engine will rev up along with it, letting you know that it's ready to turn the choke off. It's not quite ready, but doesn't sound too bad. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear me with my mic, so I'm gonna take the mic off. Might be able to hear the motorcycle better. Now, other times when I'm trying to work or have an engine run with this microphone, you can't hear me. It kind of glitches out, muffles out, but oh yeah. She runs way better than it did quite a few months ago. I mean, this is the longest it's ran. Well, when's the last time I rode it? I can tell you real quick by the tags. Oh. Don't mind the tags being bent. 19. So 2019 was the last time I actually rode this thing. So it's been 5 years ago. That's sad. I miss it. Now I know it's getting loud in here as well, not only because of the motorcycle, but it's raining, and as you can tell, I don't have any insulation, so when it rains real hard, it gets really loud in here. So I put the mic back on. I hope you guys can hear me. She's running, been running great. I do have a fan since it is air cooled. Oh yeah. No leaks, no nothing. We're doing great. So I'm gonna let it sit here and run for a while, warm up, and after that I'm gonna go ahead and pull the air filter out and clean it, since that's gonna be the last thing. I have to wash it because it is a K&N, and once I wash it, I gotta let it dry before I can oil it. All right, so I did a test video trying to figure out if you guys can hear me or not. This is the first time I got to use the mic with it raining as hard as it has. And surprisingly, you can hear me pretty good. So props to that. Just can't hear me very well or hear an engine run whenever I have the mic on. But anyhow, you win some, you lose some. So I went ahead and let this warm up completely. It fires right back up perfectly. And I'm gonna go ahead and lift the fuel tank back up again, pull the air filter out, and start getting it clean. I'm very thankful this thing fired right up. I've been wanting to do this as a surprise for him for a while. He's been wanting to help with it, and of course we've tinkered with it here and there, but I definitely wanted to surprise him and get it running really good. Now, there's a little bit more to the story about the reason why he's getting this motorcycle. We did plan on having him buy it from me, just for the simple fact that kids seem to respect things more whenever they have to earn. You know, everybody has their own differences on that. But I grew up having to buy everything that I wanted, and I feel like I earned it, and I took way more care of it since I had to earn it. But since my boy is getting ready to serve our country, and we are very proud of him. He's done great in school, graduated early. I want to do this as a special thanks to him. And before he goes out to basic, I want to go for a nice bike ride with him. I figured that'd be a real good fun thing we could do together. Now, filter doesn't look too terribly bad. It just looks like it needs to be oiled. You know what? We did clean this thing. We washed it, and I knew we were having issues with the engine, so I just put it back off to the side. So all it really needs is just to be oiled. The gasket's in great shape still. So I'm going to go ahead and oil this thing up, and we'll go from there. Looks like a brand new filter again. Now, of course, I'm not going to run it until this oil absorbs in better. So I'm just going to slap it back in place. Hopefully. Everything's kind of short here. Helps if you have the screws. I do believe he's going to be excited. I'm excited. I want to go for a ride. And of course, it's got to be winter time. Can never work out to where, oh, hey, buddy, we got it going. Let's go for a quick spin. All right. You know, I'm not afraid of the cold, but I do want him to be safe and learn how to ride, at least on a nice warmer day. Nothing's more aggravating than riding around with it's super cold. Your hands get stiff, your legs get stiff. It is fun for those hardcore biker guys. That used to be me. I would ride when it was frigid cold outside. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this yet or not, but the coldest I have ridden this motorcycle, where I worked and where I lived, was about 59 miles one way. And I had to be at work at 6:30 to 6:45 in the morning. And you know, that's quite a commute. So I had to get up early and start riding. Well, one day I got brave enough that I was going to go for a really cold ride. I took off and it was -4 outside. Now that's not the wind chill. That is the actual temperature. -4. And I rode the entire trip. Now, granted, I'm not going to lie. I did stop twice and I put my gloves over over the exhaust pipe, so it would, or over the tailpipe at the end, so it would warm up my gloves and I could put my hands back in there. I smelled like exhaust fumes, but it was worth it. Now, -4 degrees is not all that much fun. It hurts. But what's the coldest you guys have ever rode? Leave it down in the comments. I'd like to know. But one of the most craziest bike stories, I guess. I got a couple. One of them is, of course, you always got to look out for animals. I've never had to worry about deer. I mean, I've seen one or two, but never had any run out in front of me. I have ramped a turtle. Not just a regular box turtle. It was one of those, I call them alligator snappers, but they're huge, they're round, and yes, they will make a motorcycle jump. I came around a corner, and it was kind of a blind corner hill. And so, got a little bit of a jump out of that one. Let's see, June bugs to the throat. Man, that hurts. That is no fun. Hailstorms. I've been stuck in a hailstorm once. Nowhere to pull off. It had concrete barriers on both sides and nowhere really good to pull off. No buildings or anything. I was on the highway, so I had a bag that sat on my fuel tank, and I had my cell phone in there, and I had my GPS. And I swiped over real fast to see the weather, and thankfully I was right on the very tip of the storm, so I just powered through it and got, you know, above the storm. But good memories on this motorcycle. I know my boy's going to make a whole bunch of more fun memories on this, and there's just something very free feeling about riding a motorcycle. So I hope you enjoy it, buddy. Take good care of it. They'll take good care of you. I'm going to go ahead and slap the seat back on it. And just real quick, just for fun, I'm going to find a good spot for that. I'm going to wipe it down for him. Now it'll be official. Well, everyone, stick around. I'm gonna try to surprise him with this motorcycle in the next couple days, so don't give up on me. Stick around to the end of the video. You'll be able to see me give it to him, fire it up, and hopefully he's super excited. Sure love you, buddy. I hope you enjoy it. That little burnout did all this smoke. That tire has to be replaced anyway, so it's okay to do a little burnout here and there. Or one or two. I sure love that bike. It has been a good one. Well, that was a fun little project, playing with an old motorcycle that had run in a while. Didn't take a whole lot, just an oil change, a petcock. Of course, I did clean out the carburetors not too long ago too. And it has new spark plugs, fresh fuel. The real thing to check would be tomorrow morning or sometime. Very carefully turn the engine over with the starter to make sure that it didn't hydro lock, you know, bleed through like it did last time. Let's hope it didn't. Now, I did double check the oil after I changed it. It is perfectly full. There's no leaks around the oil filter or the drain plug, so we're good there. And I'm gonna look up some prices on some tires. That's gonna be scary, but we'll get that done. Gotta have it safe. Well, everyone, I think today is going to be the day that I give my boy the motorcycle. Now, it has been quite a few weeks. I recorded this back in mid-January, and well, today's the first day of April, so I might have to just pull a little bit of an April Fool's joke on him. That might be fun too. No, I can't be that mean. I have been saying for the longest time, I know something you don't know, and it has been driving him crazy. Now, he has been guessing left and right what it could be, you know, just everything that he could think of. Then he asked for hints. I told him it has 2 carburetors and it has tires, blah blah blah, and this and that, but I wasn't going to tell him how many tires. That would have gave it away. But I did tell him no every time he did guess on the motorcycle. So this is going to be kind of fun. He's probably going to resent me for a little bit on it, but I don't think so. He'll have so much fun on this thing. It does fire right up. I'll show you guys real quick. Now, I did ride it out here. Did a little lap around the driveway. I'm hoping maybe that's a little bit of a tease for him, so he'll kind of figure out what it may be. I keep looking at the house thinking he's going to come flying out of it real quick. So I better shut it off and get up there, blindfold him, and give him a few more chances. But I know he's going to get this motorcycle. He probably heard it. Should have done that. All right. Oh, let me give you your hand. I know something you don't know.
I know something you don't know.
We already went through that.
I know.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Any guesses? Remember, you got your, it has 2 carburetors, it has tires.
A key truck.
No, but we have one of those in the shop. That'd be fun. That only has 1 carb though.
Oh.
Still waiting for the Japanese rebuild kit to come in.
He's somewhere.
It's, yeah, well, it's on its way. Anything else?
I do not know.
All right, you can go ahead and pull off the brag. Get your spectacles on.
Woo! Motorcycle. Your old one.
Yep. Been working on it for a while. It has been done since, well, I had it running in the middle of January. It's been hard keeping it from you, but couldn't give it to you with it, you know, snowing, storming lately.
Yeah, nonstop.
We'll go ahead and see if she fires up. This will be the one time it doesn't. I think you might be a little excited.
Oh yeah.
We still have to get some tires for it. But, well, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're going to go ahead and tinker around with it. I'm going to let him practice on it for a while, and he's going to wear a helmet. Regardless whether we're in the yard or on the road, we wear helmets. So, I appreciate you guys for watching again. Thank you, and I guess we'll see you guys next time.